Joining me now this morning, Fox News Senior Strategic Analyst General Keane. General Keane, what type of response do you think we'll see from the administration? Because we've heard everything from what we saw last year, a limited strike, which was on an airfield, to trying to wipe out all of Assad's air force.
Yeah, well, I think when they analyze it, it's obvious that what we did last year, which was a proportionate measured strike against the airfield that delivered the chemical weapons, is not a deterrent. I mean, obviously, he's still using them. So I think once you recognize that that's the reality, then you have to take away all of his delivery means. And that means all of his air power infrastructure, all of his helicopters, and I would lead this to the intelligence agencies. If they believe he still has artillery shells that have chemical weapons, then we should take out all of his artillery as well. And the other thing I think we need to do is get some other countries involved in this, because this is an attack not just on the Syrian people, but on the civilized world, on the international community. And those that have the capability to respond should join us, even if it means we have to wait a couple more days for that to happen.
France, Britain, potentially?
Yeah, so particularly those two.
Do you think that that is what could possibly happen? What would be, and this is part of the calculation in Washington, is what would be the response from Assad's allies of Putin and Russia and also Iran?
I don't think there's going to be much of a response whatsoever. And also, in dealing with the Iranians and the Russians, I think the international community has got to come together and treat them as the pariah that they really are, that they are enabling what we've been seeing on these video screens, the horror of that. These two countries have propped that up. The Russians have used deep penetration bombs to get the hospitals that are underground. That's a war crime. This guy using chemical weapons is done with the tacit approval of Russia and Iran. He's not using these weapons without their knowledge.
Well, as much as the left loves to focus on Russia and President Trump being in bed, figuratively, with Vladimir Putin, this administration has done a lot to crack down on Russia. Just if you go over the new sanctions that target Putin's cronies, hitting them in the pocketbook where it hurts. But it was us working with Russia under the Obama administration, under a UN agreement that John Kerry, as Secretary of State, brokered, where it was Russia that was going to work with Syria to get rid of the chemical weapons. And John Kerry famously said back in 2014, we got 100% of the chemical weapons out. These are our enemies. They're not people to be worked with anymore. Is that finally the realization?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was laughable at the time. That was just a phony excuse for the Obama administration not having the moral courage and political will to conduct a strike on a red line that Assad had crossed. And they came up with this phony umbrella that somehow the Russians would get rid of the chemical. We said at the time, Assad will never get rid of all of his chemical weapons, and the Russians will tolerate that.
But what about the President Trump talking about getting out of Syria? And in reference to ISIS is on the run, nearly defeated. But this is evidence that this is a question that we can't get out of Syria.
Well, I don't think we should. I think it's a mistake to get out prematurely. You let ISIS reemerge, because it's almost a certainty that'll happen. We lose leverage against the Russians and the Iranians who are there. And there's much that we can do to help Israel, because the Iranians are encroaching on Israel. War is on the horizon with the Hezbollah and Lebanon and potentially Iran with Israel. You can see it. And it is a military buildup that's taken place in Syria, and it's focused on Israel.
One last thing before we go, in terms of the U.S. presence there. Do we have the money to commit? We found out yesterday that the interest on the national debt in 5 years, and it's something I've talked about over and over and over again. In 5 years, the interest that we pay on the national debt will top what we spend on defense every year.
Yeah, well, I understand that. Well, thankful for low interest rates, too. But listen, we all know what the problem is with the federal budget. It's entitlement. It's not defense. I mean, what we have done to defense over the last 10-plus years in depleting the capabilities of this military, and also it's as small as it's been in 70 years. And two installments here, FY18 and FY19, is not going to get us well. We're going to have to do this for a number of years. But unless the Congress comes to grips with the reality of entitlements and what it costs, and that kind of discretionary spending, we're going to have a major, major problem.
General, it was good to see you.
Good
As
talking to you,
always,
Dagan.
General Jack Keane. Come back soon. Always.
Okay.